It's like a computer.
I call this meeting to order and welcome everyone in attendance and those viewing this meeting on live stream. Thank you for being here. All of our board members are present. We'll start this meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance by John Bryant.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right, we will now approve or amend the agenda. Is there a motion to approve and/or amend the agenda?
I have hereby moved that the board approve the agenda as presented.
Is there a second?
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The next would be awards and recognition presented by Courtney Fisher.
Good evening, Madam Chair, trustees, Dr. Howell, Ms. Johnson, and our student reps. Welcome. It's nice to have you here. So tonight we will be recognizing several individuals who, through their actions, support and embody our district's mission to think more, learn more, and be more together. So first up, we have Mr. Paul Myler. Would you join me at the podium along with Kelly and Sam and Jeff, please? So Mr. Myler is Idaho Department of Education School Bus Driver of the Year. So we are very honored. Thank you for being here tonight. We're very honored to recognize him. Paul was nominated for this award by Jeff Corrington and Samantha Steed, who are transportation supervisors, and Kelly Dial, the transportation coordinator. In their nomination letter, they talked about how Paul has served the School District 25 faithfully for 22 years, following a long career as a professional truck driver where he logged millions of safe miles. In his time with our district, he has continued that legacy of excellence, driving thousands of safe miles, remaining accident-free, and ensuring that our learners arrive at school safely every day. What sets Paul apart is not only his skill behind the wheel, but his remarkable dedication and character. Paul is both a mentor and a role model within our transportation department. His colleagues describe him as the department's grandfather figure, someone who embodies commitment, hard work, and kindness. He is quick-witted, encouraging, and always ready with a smile or a positive word. When he lost his wife, Audrey, to whom he was married for 64 years, he continued to show up for our learners with resilience and determination. His unwavering dedication reflects his love for his role and the purpose he finds in serving others. He is deeply respected by his coworkers. Will you stand up if you're here to honor Paul from the Transportation Department? I just want to show all of that. Thank you so much for being here. And he is greatly admired by all who know him. He's a shining example of professionalism, humility, and heart. So on behalf of Pocatello-Chubbuck School District 25, we congratulate you for this well-deserved honor and thank you for your extraordinary service to our district and the learners of Idaho. So please join me once again. And if you...
So much. I know what you mean, Paul.
Thank you guys for nominating him.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for the recognition. This one. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Love your earrings. Hey, thanks for the recommendation.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Very nice. Thank you for the nomination.
Excellent. That's good. Thank you. Thanks for the
Next item.
This is a common occurrence. I have one more.
Oh,
This is a common occurrence. We had the Special Education Bus Driver of the Year award
have-
just a couple of years ago. So
Okay.
if I could have Mrs. Cheryl Brockett, this was included in your addendum. So Mrs. Cheryl Brockett, join me at the podium. So Century High School No, you're good. Thank you. Absolutely. So Century High School is being recognized for academic excellence after earning marks in the U.S. News and World Report for 2025-2026 Best High Schools ranking. This appeared in the Idaho State Journal and other media, but Century was ranked 8th overall in Idaho, securing its place among the top high schools statewide. Among traditional public high schools, Century ranked number 4 in Idaho, with only 3 charter schools placing higher, so we're very proud of this accomplishment. In addition to its state achievement, Century High School is distinguished as the top performing high school locally, and nationally, Century also received strong results, ranking 1679 out of nearly 18,000 schools reviewed, which places it in the top 11% of all high schools across the country. So these rankings are a testament to Mrs. Brockett and her team, the dedication of our learners, our teachers, our staff, and families. Century's recognition as one of the top high schools in Idaho underscores School District 25's standing as a high-performing district committed to delivering exceptional learning experiences and preparing every learner for success in college and life. So thank you so much for being here tonight. And this wonderful.
And it is about the kids. It's
Absolutely. And it feels
Good job. Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations. Okay, next we will have our representatives from Highland, Century, and Pokey. Who wants to go first? Okay, thank you.
All right.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Once again, my name is Beza.
I'm Lily.
And just a few updates on Century. We're proud to report, as she already did, that we ranked in the top 8th amongst the state. And that's just a reflection of the dedication that the staff and the students have, so we're really proud of that. We're now in our 3rd full week of school, and it's been a strong start. Students are fully engaged in their classes, with many enrolled in dual enrollment and AP classes. And then looking ahead, our homecoming is scheduled for October 4th, just a couple of weeks away, and preparations are in full swing. Our annual Roundup event is happening on September 26th, and if you guys are free, we'd love for you guys to join us. The theater program has begun rehearsing for their upcoming play, One Stoplight Town, and we're excited to see their work come to life. Our cheer team has had a very great start to the season. They participated in the Walk to End Alzheimer's and were recognized for having the largest group in attendance. They are also hosting the biggest kids clinic ever for Century, with 76 students joining. The clinic and cheer team will perform at halftime this Thursday, and we invite everyone to come and support.
Our football team is doing amazing. They are winning for the first time in many, many years. This is just to show that their hard work is paying off. They're currently 4-0, and they're playing in Shelley this Friday. Our volleyball team is also working very hard, and they play tonight at 7 against Highland. Again, please come if you can. Our girls and boys soccer team are both working very hard. Our girls have a game today at 7 home against Preston, and then our boys are away at Preston today. Our cross-country team is also working very hard, and our swim team, is, as always, is doing very, very well. Their last competition, the girls took first, and as a whole team, they took second. And finally, our marching band has their first competition on September 27th at Madison. So, again, if you can, please go attend. And that's all that's been going on at Century.
Whoa.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, how about Breland? Breland, just tell me how you say it. Breland.
It's a weird one, I know.
No, it's great.
That's why I told my parents.
It's so cute. It's how I spelled it that made me, okay.
Good evening, board members and community. We've had a great start to the school year, and we've already had an amazing homecoming week. The class of 1985 came to our homecoming football game against Lake City, and the 1985 Traverse sang the national anthem, and the 1985 state football champions were recognized on the field. We unfortunately didn't get Friday night lights, but we still had a great game. The class of 1985 combined these activities with their class reunion, and we were really glad to have them at Highland with us. This is an accreditation year for Highland, and we're going to have our accreditation review in October, so hopefully that goes well. Otherwise, that doesn't bode too well for my credits. Our teachers are moved back into the science classrooms that were remodeled over the summer, and they're looking great and are much better equipped for our staff and students, so we're very grateful for that. And that's all I have for you guys tonight.
All right,
Thank you, Raylan. Okay, now Kaylin from Pokey.
As you said, my name is Kaylin. Unfortunately, my co was unable to make it, but her name is Adea Arvis, and hopefully she'll be able to make it next time. So we're excited to share that Pocatello High School is off to a strong and spirited start for the 2025-2026 school year. Students returned to campus on Wednesday, August 27th, obviously, and we kicked off the year with our traditional opening assembly. The energy and excitement were quite high as we welcomed everyone back and set a positive tone for the rest of the school year. Just 1 week into school, we celebrated Homecoming Week from September 1st to 6th. Our theme this year was City of Stars, and students embraced festivities with enthusiastic participation in themed dress-up days. Those are Twin Day, PJ Day, Rhyme Without Reason, and Pokey Pride Day. On Wednesday, we hosted our all-school lunch and club rush, which gave students the opportunity to connect with peers, explore extracurricular opportunities, and build community spirit. Our homecoming football game was a highlight, with our Pokey team securing an exciting 34-20 win against Idaho Falls. The halftime show included performances from our dance and cheer teams featuring younger kids from our community who participated in the Spirit Clinic. The marching band also performed, and we celebrated the presentation of our homecoming royalty. The week concluded with our homecoming dance on Saturday, September 6th, which was a huge success and memorable night for everyone involved. In addition to student activities and athletics, we're proud to highlight the PHS wrestling team, who are once again giving back to the community. This September and again in November, the team will be volunteering at the Idaho Food Bank, helping to prepare meals for local families in need. Their continued service is a great example of the values we uphold at Pocatello High School. Overall, it has been a very fantastic start to the school year, and we're proud of our student body's enthusiasm, involvement, and commitment to our school and community. We look forward to what's ahead. Thank you for your continued support of Pocatello High School.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have a public and written comment. There is written comment, and we do have one person for public comment, Mary Ann McGrory. Hi, Mary Ann.
I was checking on something for Sue, and I just got the text.
Are you doing your 3 minutes or 10 minutes?
I'm doing 3 because I'm just introducing the PEA Executive Board. I never have done this before, and quite frankly, I don't know why, so I thought I should do it now. I wanted to introduce you to the Executive Board of the Pocatello Education Association. For every board meeting, one of us will be in attendance and most likely giving comments. And so I just wanted to take this opportunity. I'll just go down the line since this is Paige Farnham. She's a special ed teacher at Pokey High, and she is our special education representative. Then we have Rochelle Mendenhall. She is at Irving, and she is one of our secondary representatives. Then we have Carrie Quinton, right? Okay, I usually mess up a name, so I thought that would be the one. She is an elementary rep from Indian Hills, and she also advises us for the classified, what we call ESP, Educational Support Personnel. And we have Kristen Sluter, and she is a special education teacher at Wilcox. She's an elementary representative. Then our vice president, Stephanie Moore, she's at Irving as well. And then last but not least tonight, Stacy Jensen, she's our secretary, and she's wherever she wants to be because she's retired. So Tom Chatterton.
Hooks in tow.
Yes, crochet hooks, yes. Tom Chatterton is also a secondary rep, but it is his wife's birthday, so we allowed him to miss this for that. And Kyle Crawford at Idaho is an elementary representative, and he's a volleyball ref, so he's working. And then Mike Taylor is our treasurer, and he's also retired, but he hasn't slowed down at all because he has horse shows and stuff, so he's also not here. So I wanted to just let you know that this is who the executive board is, and you'll be seeing one or two of us here at each meeting. So,
Thank you.
thanks.
Thank you. All right, next is there a motion to approve the minutes for August board meeting?
I hereby move that the board approve the following minutes as presented. Executive session, board work session, executive session, student discipline, and regular board meeting.
Is there a second?
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Is there a second?
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Now we will have the curriculum instruction. The first thing is the continuous improvement presented by AJ and Sue. This is an action item.
Good evening. So the continuous improvement plan was presented at the work session by Amy Bowie, and we are asking tonight that it be adopted so that we can get that sent to the State Department. You're up.
Do you want me, are they taking action or not till the end?
We are, as soon as you're finished presenting, we did have it presented at our,
Okay,
you know,
so
but
I'll just follow
you
up with the
present
same.
whatever.
The same information
Just
from
wanted
out.
to take the pressure off of you.
No, that's fine. I didn't know I thought Sue was taking it for both of us. So
Okay.
same information we have, it was shared at the board work session. So if you have any additional questions, we can answer those. Otherwise, it's up for your action.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the 2025-2026 continuous improvement plan?
I hereby move that the board adopt the 2025-2026 continuous improvement plan as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion was passed. Thank you.
I think we moved
missed-
over the community relations
Yeah, I
report. Do we
saw
want to
that.
go back and? or-
I don't actually see that on mine
We don't
printed
have
out. Is it just online?
It was after student reps.
Oh, okay. Oh, I just assumed she was all done.
Oh.
Okay, we'll just move that to right now. So Courtney will present communications and community relations report.
I'll be fast. So in your board packet, we have the monthly communications report, and on page 2, we just have those regular monthly insights. These are taken as of September 11th. And just a couple of things to note, we can always tell when we're back in school because those views on our page start going back up. So it went from, it just jumped up to 170,000 views on our social media page, which was quite, it was up 128,000. And then on that engagement, we had 31,000 engagement. That was up 49%. So that I can always tell, like cyclically, where we are at in the year. We had quite a few board live streams of the last 2 board meetings. So the regular board meeting got 827 views, which is really pretty significant. We usually average around 100 to 200 views. And then the work session on September 9th, we got 411 views on that. On page 3, we have the top performing posts, that power outage. Anytime we have something that impacts a number of schools, that usually is our top performing post. So that power outage that impacted several of our schools earned the top spot. And then Dr. Howell earned the next spot with lots of engagement in the award that we recognized for the Idaho School Superintendent Association, the District Leadership Award for that. On page 4, our most watched video was the last board meeting with those 827 views. So there's a link to that. And then I've just included some stats on YouTube, we had a total of 93.9 hours watched on YouTube, which, so our stuff is getting out there. That's really good. That's a good insight for me to be viewing. On page 5, the continuation of the You Belong Here campaign is in progress, and I just wanted to remind you that we will be wearing those You Belong Here shirts on Friday, so please join us in that endeavor, no matter where you are. We want to see everybody in the district wearing those shirts. So they have all been distributed. We have invited our subs to come get them on a first-come, first-served basis, so that's going really well. On page 6, we've got the continuation of our attendance campaign for, I think this is the 4th year we've been doing our campaign, 2nd year for just really supplying ready to plug in content for our school newsletters. They have been really well used by our principals in their, whether they do weekly newsletters or monthly newsletters. They've got some stuff on there. If they have digital display screens in their hallways, they're using some of these graphics on those every month. And so that's been a really successful campaign for us. And then on page 7, it says 76, but it's page 7. This week, and this is why I didn't want to skip over this report today, because I wanted to all remind you that this is Kind Week. This is the 10th anniversary of Kind Community Week and celebrating kindness in our schools, which is near and dear to my heart since I helped launch the organization 10 years ago. I can't believe it's been 10 years. Right. So I'm very proud of that. You can go on our website and find out everything that's going on. The kickoff was last week, but we have some things going on in our schools. So the Kind kits were delivered yesterday. So we've got the pledge banners all up in the schools. You'll notice signs at every school along with the Please Just Stay. It is Suicide Awareness Month as well. So this is a really great way to engage our community in really important things. On Thursday night, I would encourage you to either live stream or attend the community conversation. This is the 6th annual conversation. Tanya has invited the author of You Matter. His name is Matthew Emazarian, I think. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly, but he wrote a book. He's a great speaker. He's going to be speaking to our middle schools on Thursday and Friday. If you'd like to catch one of those assemblies at the middle schools, just let Tanya or I know if it's not already on your calendar. But that's going to be a great message, just all wrapped up into Kind Week. And then we'll culminate the end of Kind Week, of course, with our You Belong Here t-shirts. We did that very intentionally to culminate Kind Week. So that's that. And then one other thing that's not in here that I wanted to draw your attention to, I've been working with Jonathan in the transportation department. They've been seeing an increase in bus arms stop violations. And so we have been doing some pretty extensive public awareness campaigns around school bus safety headed back to school. We've done more than ever, but they've still seen an increase. The Pocatello Police did a wonderful job of really sharing that message right before school and as school started. But for some reason, they're seeing an increase. So I don't want to just continue doing the same thing. We'll do that, but I think we need to add another layer of it too. So we'll be recording a radio ad tomorrow that's addressing this and just inviting the community to be aware, understand the challenges and the risks associated with having those stop arm violations. So I wanted to let you know, just in case you hear that on the radio, you will have the context.
What are they seeing? Examples?
Just the stop arm violation. So people going around when that stop arm is out.
Oh, the stop, okay.
Yeah, they've seen an increase in those violations. Whether they come back and they report those, and if they have supporting evidence like a license plate, then they'll report those to the police.
Mm-hmm.
So
I've
just seen an uptick in that.
I've got a couple of quick, oops, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I've got a couple of quick questions. So then the Rooted in Kindness, is that on the SD25 website?
Yes, it will be held here in the boardroom. Thank you for asking that. So it will be live streamed from our YouTube channel, and you'll be able to access that through either YouTube or Facebook.
And then the rest of the information, it's on SD25 website. We can find it there.
Yes, yep. And
Okay.
I'd be happy to send you a link to
Yes, please do.
everything, because there's quite a few activities.
And one final question.
Sure.
Or comment. On the links here for the most watched, neither one of them will open up for me. Do you have to be logged into Facebook to do that?
No, you don't. For some reason, I had a hard time. This usually will just embed the YouTube video right into that page, and it wouldn't do that for some reason. So you should be able to click on the underlined link. You can't do that either, and I can send it to you. But it's just the live stream of the last board meeting.
Oh, okay. Well,
So you
the
can
power
find that
outage and the
Oh, the power
Dr.
outage,
Howell's. Those are the two I'm talking about.
if you read the full post, it doesn't come up?
Yeah, no, if I
click on that?
click on it, even like right now, it says open link and it says this content isn't available.
Oh, you may need to be logged into Facebook
okay.
to do that.
All right, because I was
Yeah.
interested in reading that, and yeah, please do
I can
send.
take screenshots of those posts and send them to you if that's easier.
Yeah,
Okay.
please do.
I will do that in the morning.
Okay, I'll look for the emails for all the links and.
Okay,
Thank you.
perfect. Okay.
I have one question. Do the buses all have video cameras so they can catch those?
Yes, they do.
Okay. I mean, we've seen some pretty, I don't know if it was in here or if it was on the news, but I've seen some, they've showed some videos of people running those and almost hitting kids. And it's pretty
Right,
serious.
yeah. I mean, we want to take it very seriously and just let the community know that this is happening and ask them to join us in trying to prevent any accidents
So have the police followed up with citations?
when they're able to. And Jonathan would be able to address that much better than I can.
Yeah, so being the numbers, what did we count? We were in school, how many days?
13 days.
13, 14 days. We've had 25
Whoa.
stop arm
Whoa.
violations.
Wow.
Yep, and so if they can get a good license plate, so a little bit over half are being able to be prosecuted. And so that 25 is probably even more just because if we can't, get a good video shot or anything like that, it's just to be able to prosecute it, we have to have, the license plate and you'll see them very, very clearly, so.
Is this both directions, or is it mostly coming from behind? Do you know?
I'm gonna say both directions. I mean, we had one that actually, he stopped and then he just went, like it was a regular stop sign. It's like, no, when that stop arm is out, you have to stay. And according, I've seen the script for the radio, and it even says, please be patient, because it does take time, those little first graders, kindergartners, to get off that bus and get safely away from the bus off the road. So.
Yeah.
So it is both
And we're
sides.
encouraging our partners too, like the Pocatello Police Department, to continue that message as well. I mean, it takes the whole community to continue. I mean, this is a continual education, public safety awareness that we need to be involved in because people forget or they don't know the rules. So it's just, we have to
Yeah.
stay the course with that education.
All right. Well, thank you.
Great, thank you.
All right, next we will have AJ present the elementary enrollment and staffing update.
Okay, I'm ready this time. We just wanted to share with you some actual numbers. We've been talking about preliminary numbers prior to this, but with the start of school, we wanted to give you where we are at both elementary and secondary. So I'll start with elementary numbers. As of the second week, so these are both, or as of the second week of school, we're at elementary, we are at 4,682 learners, kindergarten through fifth grade. Last year at the same time period, we were at 4,813 learners, so it's a decrease of 131 kindergarten through fifth grade learners. You might ask, okay, where did those learners go? This is something that we've talked about and anticipated. We had 881 fifth graders that moved on to middle school, and we only had 742 kindergartners that enrolled. So there's 139 students right there from that 131. So we've seen that trend over the last 3 years where we're around 700 to 740 kindergartners that are enrolling, and we have, as you look at some of the enrollment information, we have larger numbers in our fourth and fifth grade still. So anticipated over the next couple of years, we're still going to see this trend if we remain around that 700. We're averaging right around 720 kindergartners enrolling each year. And over the next couple of years, it looks like right now in fifth grade, we have 891 learners. And in fourth grade, we have 833. So anywhere from 100 to 150 learners probably is what we're looking at estimate-wise. Now, we could have a bigger kindergarten group come in. That's kind of the unknown for us, but projected, we're probably going to be very similar to where we've been. As far as overload numbers, because I know we talked about this a little bit last time as well, and just as a reminder, overloads are students that, because of the maximum class size, they're not able to attend in their boundary area, so we overload them and we provide transportation for them and any of their siblings that want to attend a sister school. Currently, as of today, we had another one that came in Green Acres. So as of today, we have 3 students that are overloaded in 3rd grade at Chubbuck. Green Acres, we have 8. 7 of those are kindergartners, so they had a little bit bigger kindergarten class at Green Acres. 1's a 5th grade student, and then at Wilcox, we have 3 in 3rd grade. Some of those have balanced out a little bit because as they have openings for the first little bit of school, they'll invite families back if somebody leaves and there's an open spot. They'll call and say, hey, we have a spot if you would like to take it. They don't have to because maybe they're already settled, feel comfortable where they're at, but we give them that opportunity to come back if a spot does open up. Usually for about the first 6 to 8 weeks. By then they're pretty well settled and moving forward.
I see. So what's the total of overload? I counted
14.
14.
Yes, and just that's the students that are overloaded. Some of those have siblings that go along with them. We had space for their siblings, but they may have decided, which makes sense, we want to stay together as a family, so there could be a 3rd grade student at Wilcox might have a 1st grade sibling that overloaded as well, so we keep the families together. But not too many. And then I wanted to show Trustee Clark, last night when we had our Washington committee meeting, she asked for, it's like, hey, I would love to see the numbers based on what we had last year for our proposed enrollment numbers after all of the boundary changes. So it was a last minute addendum. You should have that in there. You probably did not see it until it was later this afternoon that I was able to pull those numbers. But if you take a look at it and pull that up, you'll see the proposed enrollment was what we estimated the enrollment would be based on the boundary changes, and then the current enrollment is taking the September 2nd data that you have and shows where we landed in terms of our projections. Overall, pretty close in comparison. Some of those fluctuate a little bit just based on transfers. We're able to still accept, it was about 68, close to 70% of the transfers in elementary, which is pretty good. It means we had capacity in a number of our buildings and grade levels. But for the most part, it was pretty consistent across the board. You see a little bit of fluctuation. Some schools lost a few more in transfers and others gained a few more, but pretty close overall.
And so, you don't have the capacity versus how many are in there in these, is that right? You just have the proposed?
I just have the proposed. I didn't put the
Or not
capacity
not
in there,
the
but
building capacity.
I can get
Okay.
that. I just pulled that
Okay.
one out to make it simple so you could see kind of how close we were in terms of, we were close enough that I figured our capacity is going to be pretty close since that's what we projected and put them
I think
capacity
you did a
wise.
real good job. I just noticed that the only one that's a little off would be Jefferson, with proposed of 392 and actually 316.
There was a significant number of transfers from out of Jefferson back into Indian Hills that were able to get in. And so based on capacity, which was great, we had the capacity for them to get in, but that was the one that you noticed that kind of jumps out as being a little bit lower, and they were able to get back in at Indian Hills, a number of them.
Okay.
I had a comment, and I don't know whether we want to kind of drop this question now, or if we want to wait till Jonathan does, but, and maybe Sue, this will actually play into one of your questions, or what you might present, but the thing that came up during our Washington meeting last night was, yes, we're doing the marketing campaign about belonging here, and I'm very curious to hear how the online school, what the enrollment, we're looking at kind of these little pieces of how we're going to kind of, not necessarily turn the ship, but thinking outside of the box. And I know, Doug, you had at one point talked of, we've kind of spitballed what could be used for the Washington building. And I guess what I'm curious is as to how that, how do we start that discussion? How do we say, okay, let's really get serious about, and this isn't about opening the Washington building necessarily again, but it also is looking at, okay, how are we going to, it's one thing to look at these numbers every year and say, oh, yep, there we're down, now we're down, okay, we're down. What is the process for saying, okay, we need to kind of get the brilliant minds all together to kind of brainstorm what works, what hasn't worked, what are we thinking, what are some, I mean, that's kind of what I thought one of our goals would have been.
Dr. Howard, do you want?
I'll
Yeah.
start. And so what we have talked about is this next 2 years, that the trend will continue, that we will move more fifth graders out into middle school than what we currently have. In fact, I read an article just last week, and it was talking about birth rates or fertility among childbearing women. And nationally, it's at 1.6. When the Gallup poll said ideally, it would be 2.4. And so there is not even enough to almost replace people at this point. So I think that goes to show nationally it's a trend, right? I think about our families and different generations and how, you know, within my children, where their capacity, where they feel comfortable, and that's what this article talked a little bit about as well. So I think we need to see maybe, you know, and this could work through the SIP committee, if that is one of the goals of the board, that you would like to see, you know, what Washington would look like. I've asked Jonathan to get back with Bateman Hall, prioritize of that $8 million, you know, what is structurally safe to have people in the building. And so we will bring that to you probably in the next month. But I think we need to see, you know, is it a minimum of $2 million if we want to look at some other programs within that building, or whether, you know, how it could be utilized. I would like to see us stabilize our enrollment. But if we want to do something along the way, then that's part of the discussion, certainly. But knowing that 2 more years, we're going to be down another 250 learners, it's hard to talk about where we go from here until we can see those numbers. And that's just me personally as the superintendent providing the board, you know, some information based upon what we've seen in the last 10, 15, 20 years. When I taught in the mid-90s, we had almost 14,500 learners. And, you know, today we're at 11.3 or 11.4. And so certainly some things have changed, but we're looking even at the numbers at the charter schools and the private schools, and we have seen a little bit of fluctuation even down in those areas. I don't know that we have those numbers yet, but again, that's what we've seen a little bit in the trend as well.
I guess the thing that also came up last night is you're looking at, what is there, about a rough estimate of numbers that we know is there's about 15,000 that have, or 1,500 that have moved to these charters. And, you know, they all talk about wanting to have that choice, and, you know, by starting the online program, there's a choice. And so I'm wondering if that's, you know, talk of a magnet school or something where we are the ones that provide that additional choice besides the traditional. And I guess that's kind of what I'm, you know, obviously that doesn't happen in a vacuum and it doesn't happen overnight, but I don't think we can necessarily wait 2 years to kind of the wait and see, because you still have years of.
And that's a board
Maybe
decision. And
right.
you're just asking me, you know, as the superintendent, what maybe my thoughts were. And this year already, we have reduced the number of units in our projection, anticipating that we would have probably in the neighborhood of 100 to 120 learners, you know, just again by that 5th grade transition. And so we reduced our units in projection of that by 4. And so if we have another 4, and we have another 4, and we have another 4, now we're talking about 12. And you know, last year we reduced 19 across the district. And so, again, it's just my personal experience and 10 years worth of doing this. I would just say you need to be cautious, because we really need to see how this is going to balance out a little bit. I'm not, you know, just throwing the baby and all that stuff and saying, oh, we're going to close another school in 5 years. No, I don't know that. I can tell you that we will be likely reducing positions again over the next 2 years. And so it's hard to talk about, you know, special programs and where we go from there. Mr. Watson, I did ask him to look into a little bit of a special project, and that would be an ESL program. But to do that, we know that we would have to have probably a kindergarten and a first grade, a minimum of 4 teachers to dedicate to that kind of a program. And so it's pretty challenging to say, okay, we're going to pull those out of gen ed, so to speak, and put them into a specialty area or magnet school when we're already in a reduction phase. And so that's the challenge. Those are the difficulties that we will have in the next year or so. The commitment of the financial piece. I know Jonathan's going to present to you capital improvements tonight, and we have a number of $1 million plus projects that are going to come your way. And so, again, we just want to be financially and fiscally responsible. And so I don't know how all this fits yet, but I know we will continue to have those discussions.
I know one of your goals was to do that language immersion in kindergarten and first. Would you consider going ahead and starting it in our buildings and just having it be one of the teachers and then see how it goes, and then if we need more space, moving it out?
Yeah, and that could be part of the discussion. Again, we're looking at these numbers to see where they level out, where it would be possible to do something along those lines.
Just to offer something different.
Absolutely, yeah, and as Sue will present tonight, Mrs. Pettit has some numbers for you for online, but, you know, it's more of a pilot phase right now as well. So,
I guess I'm just trying to think, again, if we can't just sit and let this happen to us, it's about how do we start filling a pipeline and bringing kids back, bringing families back. I don't know,
Yeah,
maybe I'm
it
pie
is-
in the sky thinking, you know.
It is finding a balance and in all things, always. I've probably said that to the board every month that we meet. And I think we are in a time now where you're right, can we wait? I don't know, but I can tell you what our numbers show for the next 2 years, and what they project. I can tell you that enrollment is down. I can tell you that fertility and birth rates are down. And so I just don't know what that perfect timing is. I don't know that yet.
Just a further comment on this. I mean, I just got done reading a book by Salman Khan, and he's talking about online learning. And he has Khan Academy, and he does a lot of online learning. But now they're using artificial intelligence, and they've adapted ChatGPT-4. I think ChatGPT-5 just came out, but it as a tutor. And he calls it Conmigo, K-A-H-N-M-I-G-O on the Spanish, you know, working on that. But the tutor keeps track of your progress. It'll communicate with the parents. It's like having an individual tutor, and it's very specialized. And so artificial intelligence is something that's here, and I know that Amy Bowie has talked about it. It's going to become more and more important, and there are going to be even more additional options for people who are looking for alternatives. But I have gone out to Khan Academy and looked at what he's doing. He's been pretty successful at it, and have played with the artificial intelligence a little, and it is very advanced. So things are changing a lot, and that's something else we're going to have to deal with.
And I know too, and as the board knows, the $50 million set aside by the legislature for private, you know, education. And so there are many efforts out there with Save Our Schools and so forth to, you know, just say no to any more spending in the private arena. But we've heard from our legislative leaders that that's a direction they're going to go. And so, you know, certainly there could be some that are anticipating that next year they're going to get their $5,000 or $7,500, but already by hiring the State Tax Commission to, you know, oversee this, they've taken 7 positions out of that $50 million. And so I don't know what that's going to look like in the next year or two, because we've seen surrounding states jump upwards of $300 to $800 million. So that's another reason I say I know what we would like to do. I'm a Pocatello boy. I get it. I mean, I've seen Emerson close, I've seen Whittier close, I've seen Bonneville close. I don't love that, but I have this other responsibility to advise the board as well, and to say what
I think we should do. Now, you certainly, as elected officials, give me direction, you give all of these folks in this room direction, and we will be sure to follow that. But I just can share from you my experience and financially where we are, but in that SIP area, we have the flexibility to do something. Yeah.
So I have a question also. So, and I don't know if Jonathan is coming back or whatever.
Yes, he
But okay, then I will ask him then. But I'm just curious as to what kind of information he has right now as how the effects of House Bill 93 and what he's seeing as far as finances. So,
Yeah. I don't know if
already.
there are more questions. Ms. Clark, I don't know that I've answered your
Well,
question very well, but
I think it's
just-
more,
I
we're
wanted to
kind of
address it.
talking in parallels, because I understand our current fiscal, and I understand, you know, what we're seeing as the projection, but I guess what I'm looking at is, what is it that we're gonna do different? What are we going to do that's going to, you know, we can't just sit and wait for this to happen as more, you know what I'm saying? You know, I think we need to be more proactive about thinking, and like I said, I think the online school is a great start. But, and this, like I said, this is not all about opening that Washington building. You know, I'd love to see maybe how that, but what is it that you see, and maybe that is a board thing, and it's hard to do now where 3 of us could be replaced, but, you know, it's one of those things where I feel like, how, you know, just like with PV Tech, you know, I mean, someone had to have a vision that we needed a separate building, and we needed to build that program. The online school, it's starting off small, but it could have the potential if that's the way parents are choosing. And so what is that next thing? Where are we, where is the thinking going? Because like I said, we can't just sit here and let it just continue to dwindle and just say, well, okay, we're just gonna lay off more people, we're gonna close more people. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I get where we are in the present, but I also think we need to be forward-thinking. And where are we with that? Does anybody, I
Does
don't know if
anybody
anyone else
want
has
to,
another-
does anybody have any interest in establishing another committee where it's really focused on innovation? So we would be comparing, what do other schools in our immediate area offer that we don't, or what do we offer that they don't? And really analyzing maybe if there's a gap and if there's a need, the English language immersion, or I guess you'd say whatever language it is, but
Dual language immersion
English,
is what it's,
Spanish,
the
English,
general,
Chinese.
term
Yeah,
is.
I mean, and I think they do maybe come and go, because I think in Rigby they had the Chinese, English Chinese immersion. I don't think they have that anymore. So I don't know.
Twin Falls
I don't know
has
if
a number of
if
programs.
it just kind of comes and goes or not, but anyway, if there's a need or a desire, I don't know if anybody has an interest in that, but we could even survey the public, like, what would you like to see in regards to innovative education options? Just an idea, but.
Whoops.
I just want to back up Heather real quick, that I think, sorry, I really don't have a voice, I'm not going to cry. I think that just being proactive on how we can bring people back to public education would really help us out. And I promise you, I would drive 20 minutes one direction to take my kids to a secondary language learning school. Like, I think it would be a big draw, and I think you could have a 5-year wait list. But that's just speculation. And so I think having a committee or some sort of an idea meeting where we could flush some stuff out would really help us pinpoint what would benefit our community the most.
Because I'm so curious if we could just start with maybe one classroom, wherever there's some room, and just see how it goes with that language immersion. And I assume you wanted Spanish, is what you were saying. But
That's what we were looking at. But,
Yeah.
Mr. Watson, will you just give maybe a 3-minute overview of what we have talked about?
Okay,
Yeah.
so as Dr. Howell stated, was asked to look at a dual language immersion. I mean, we're always talking and thinking about what other options as we're looking at creative ideas, but knowing, resources are limited and what can we do. As I actually attended a 2-day conference on dual language immersion. It was here at ISU with surrounding, it was a state conference, but they had districts from all over. Most of it was from Southeast Idaho, actually. And they provided information. I was able to network with them and talk about their programs, how they started their programs. As you stated, Jerome has a very big program. Rigby has one as well. There's also one in American Falls has a program. I didn't get to talk to anybody from American Falls, but they have a program. So there are school districts around that have dual language immersion programs. We had talked specifically about ours probably being Spanish, just based on kind of the need in our area and the number of students that actually come in speaking Spanish. Because with these programs, the ideal setup or scenario is that you have 50% that are fluent in Spanish, for example, if it's a Spanish program, and 50% that are English speakers, and then they're able to communicate and talk and work together. It starts, all of these programs, or most of the programs, I should say, start with, you need to start in kindergarten. You can't just jump in, so you can't really start a K-5 program and start with fifth graders. It just isn't very beneficial because they've missed out on such a foundational portion of learning that language. And so the ideal setup, and as I've talked with some of the schools, they started with a K-1 program. And how it works is they have 2 teachers that are assigned to each grade level. So there'd be 2 kindergarten teachers. One would be the Spanish speaking or the language speaking, second language speaking, and the other one would be teaching English. There's a percentage for, it kind of depends on what grade level it is, but there would be ELA math, and there's a percentage and a model for who teaches what during the day, and that kind of changes as they get through 3rd through 5th grade. And so half of the students would be, in their second in the English language, and then the other half would be with another teacher in their second language, and then they would rotate. Some of them do it every other day, some of them do it half day. It kind of depends. That didn't seem to be as big of a factor. It kind of depended on schedules and what worked best. And then each year you would add an additional grade level to that. So it would require 2 additional teachers for that, and you would continue to build up through 5th grade. A couple of the things that I'm trying to make this quick, a couple of things that we looked at as we talked about this one, resources and staffing, as we know, where we're talking about FTEs and units, where's that funding going to come from, and having a discussion about that, but also knowing that, hopefully this would be of interest to families, and maybe we could. Yes, we would pull some of our own learners from within the district, but there could be an opportunity for those that are attending private charter schools to consider that as an option for them and their learners. But also looking at and considering, facilities is a big issue, because you could start it. The problem is that if you started in a school and you have we don't have many schools now that have 2 available classrooms. There's really 1 school that I could think of that would work, but it's not centrally located. So transportation becomes an issue with some of these programs as well. As we have limited transportation now, are we providing transportation, or are parents providing that piece? Is it centrally located? And then if you're only setting it up for 1 year, what's that long-term plan look like? Because I don't think parents would be very interested in, well, we're going to try it out as a pilot for 1 year, pull them for a kindergarten or 1st grade year, and then if it doesn't work out or we don't have the facilities for it, I think we'd have to have some long-term planning in terms of a location and a facility and what that would look like to continue to build on. And then with most of these programs, what does that look like in secondary? I know Sue's kind of just known that we've been looking at it, but how does that look in secondary? Because most of these programs go K-12 within the school, so it require resources at the secondary level, and it looks a little bit different in terms of how they set that up at the secondary level. But for us, starting, it would be, we'd start out with 4 teachers. Then you got to talk about administrators and what does that look like with administration and all of the other things that go into that. So it's possible to start it at one of the other school buildings, but that would not be a very long-term solution. It would probably be with 2 classrooms. It'd be a 1-year type of program, and it would be better if we had more of a long-range plan for that as we're looking at this, but definitely something that, as Dr. Howell stated, we've been looking at and we'll continue to look at with your direction and what we decide we want to do. We can continue to. I was actually going to visit some of the sites this year. I haven't made it out. Start of school is a little busy, but I will get out to some of those. They said they would love to have me come down to Jerome and to Rigby. Teton has a good program as well, so there's some area. There's some schools that are pretty close that I'm planning to go visit and see what those programs look like and get some more details as well, so I can share those along the way.
So if the kindergarten was successful and there was enough for the next year kindergarten, then we could we'd just have to be so flexible. But if there wasn't, then that same first grade classroom could meet in the same classroom and just continue on second grade. And if there really wasn't enough to continue it, just so that that class could go all the way through. But I don't know if that's even,
Yeah,
say, worst case
and another thing you
scenario.
have to consider is it is a pretty specific, I mean, those teachers that we do have, I'm aware of a few, not that many that speak Spanish. We are pretty lucky being in a college town, and there would probably be, interest in those, but you have to have at least one Spanish-speaking teacher in each of those grade levels, so they would have to be very fluent in Spanish, and there's a lot of co-teaching that goes along with that piece, and working really closely together, so teaching staff would be another thing that we'd have to consider as we're looking at that program.
It's a lot to think about.
So if I may,
Please.
I'm very interested in this. And I don't know if it's appropriate or not, but I would love to go with you when you visit some of these programs. My daughter
Great.
teaches at one, and they
Mhm.
are bursting at the seams. And they're Portuguese and English.
Yeah.
Of all, that I always thought.
Okay.
Who knows what happens in November?
Sure.
But if I'm still here,
Sounds good.
I would like to very much be involved
Great.
in kind of looking at these programs, looking at the good, bad, the ugly, and the great, and because
Where they're
I
at right
think
now
if
and
we're not,
enrollment.
I mean, we have to be forward-thinking, and I think this one, to me, feels like a potential. And again, this is not about saving the Washington school. I mean, that's obviously where the discussion started, but anyway, I'm just throwing that out.
I would be interested in going and visiting also. And if we're thinking about different languages as opposed to Portuguese, I think we should consider Esperanto. Seriously, in England, they were doing that.
What is
in
it,
public
a
s-
language?
It's a constructed language in 1880. A fellow Polish Jew, Jewish person in Poland developed it. It has like 16 grammar rules. There are no exceptions. It's something that I think a lot of our teachers could acquire very quickly. I'm doing the Duolingo course right now, about halfway through it. I think that's an interesting thing to talk about, but it has been done in England. And just teaching a second language at all, of course, helps you to understand your native language better, but you learn a lot of grammatical concepts, and the vocabulary was based basically on Romance languages and German, and a little bit of Slavic touch. And they say that people who speak it, if they want to learn French, Spanish, German, or whatever later, they learn much more quickly.
What is it again?
It's called Esperanto, Esperanto.
I thought that was a Disney movie.
No.
Encanto,
Yeah.
that's
So anyway, I think I would like to talk more about this with you.
Sure.
But that's a situation where if there was a commitment, people can really pick that language up very quickly. And so that would be another option, and would be less than getting somebody who's fluent in Spanish. It would be easier to implement.
That's a really interesting idea that you can do, it's a springboard for so many different
That's
languages.
it. They actually had a website called Springboard to Language, and it was popular in the United Kingdom for a while. You can go out on YouTube and talk about Springboard to Language or Esperanto in elementary school. And
It's
I
actually
felt it
called
did a TED
Springboard?
Talk. Yeah,
I just
yeah.
thought I just
Yeah, no, that's
thought of
exactly
that
what they call it.
myself.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry to kind of take us off the agenda on a squirrel tangent, but
We're going to say it was on the.
it's
agenda.
close.
Yeah. Washington.
Yeah, I mean,
It was further down the
I just didn't know if it was part of yours or we were going to wait for Jonathan, because I knew at some
Yeah.
point we
It definitely had to
discuss
do
it.
with enrollment.
Yes.
Yeah, for
Absolutely.
sure.
Thank you.
So, Sue?
Yes, Sure.
For secondary enrollment?
So secondary enrollment, currently, we are at 6,692. Last year, last year, we were 6,679. So total for secondary, we're up 13. That changes by the hour. But the difference is middle school is down 62, high school is up 75.
So the bubble's going through.
The bubble's going
And
through.
it will be gone.
The eighth grade that left was much larger than the sixth grade that came in. So currently, we have 56 students online. It's been a nice soft start for our online program. I have to commend Cassie Atwood and Amy Bowie and especially Heidi Baker and the work that they've done to get those classes up and going and supporting our teachers that are running that program. Phenomenal resources, to say the least. It's a really nice start for us. And we can see how it's going to get bigger quickly, but right now it's a very nice start for us.
And is it
So,
equally balanced between the three schools? for the
17,
most part?
21, and 18.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, pretty equally balanced. So, okay. Then my next one is the district attendance and student transfer policy. And again, this is for third reading and for adoption on third reading.
I've
But-
got cell phone policy.
Oh, I
How-
skipped,
how is-
sorry. Cell phone
Very
policy.
curious how
Yes.
that's been
So we've had 2 administrative meetings for the admin and then a specific one for high school. We have a high school impact team meeting and we have a middle school impact team meeting, and we've talked about it at all of them. And the feedback from the teachers has been, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Especially.
At which level? Both?
Both.
Okay.
Both. And in particular, our new teachers, working with their coaches, said, oh my gosh, this is so nice that I don't have to be the bad guy. It's policy, everybody's doing it. And overall, I think the most phones that have been picked up was 10 total since the beginning of the year. And I think one twice, and that's been it. We have a couple of parents at each school that have been a little more involved with the policy, and the administration's handled it very, very well. So high school said that hallways are still very difficult to monitor, but in class they're very much appreciating it. So.
Now, did you hear feedback from high school level about what they were doing, and as far as putting it in like a cubby or in a pocket instead of letting them?
Most of them it's staying in their car, in their locker, in their backpack.
And they
Depending
don't,
on
and
their
they don't
person.
prefer that? Okay, because there was just a teacher that stopped me on my way out of one of the schools and just said I guess her and several teachers really wished that they could do it the way that they had been doing it and put it in the pockets. So I just wondered if you had heard that.
I haven't heard that. I know that there's several teachers that have those caddies or the pockets available for kids. And so if they don't have a backpack with them, a lot of kids put them in just so that they're there. But overall, it hasn't been a problem one way or the other. We do have, like I said, we have a couple parents that are concerned that their child has their cell phone with them at all times. Our middle schools in particular, 3 of the 4 don't let backpacks in the classrooms. One allows pouches instead of a backpack. They're tripping hazards, and so they're working on it. Franklin hasn't allowed backpacks or cell phones for the last 3 years, so it wasn't anything new for them. The other 3 schools, it's a little newer for.
Because COVID changed that to where they all had to bring their backpack.
Yep.
And then that changed 3 years ago for Franklin?
For Franklin, yep, they've been using lockers since COVID left. They've been using lockers, and so it's a learning process for our teachers and for our students that goes in the backpack. And then where can we put our backpacks? So we have a couple of parents that in each school want their child to have it with them at all times, and so they've made they have caddies available, and the student brings it in, puts it in the caddy. So.
And is there a problem where Highland took out all those lockers? Is that a problem at all?
They didn't use most of those lockers.
Okay, I didn't think so, I just.
Yeah, there was
Okay.
very few lockers used in the high schools, so.
Great.
Okay.
Good to hear.
Okay, now, sorry, policy 8106, and again, that's adding that language from the law on open enrollment transfers and when those can be denied.
And in highlighted green, Renee, that's the only changes, is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
And so that's for, on third reading for adoption.
Okay, so is there a motion to adopt policy 8106, district attendance areas and student transfers?
I hereby move that the board hear policy 8106, district attendance areas and student transfer on third reading for adoption as presented.
Is there a second?
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next is Tanya will present the donation and sponsorship agreement for Highland press box, and this is up for action as well.
So we have two donation sponsorship agreements in front of you. Westmark and the baseball coach up at Highland High School have been talking about how things are going, and they have a new campaign logo coming out. So they're rebranding, and they would love to rebrand the turf and the windscreen protectors, and then they would like to put up a new scoreboard with their new brand on it. And so with that, Highland has come back and said that they would do the turf section, and Westmark would purchase with $35,000 donation to them, a new scoreboard with Westmark on that, and replace those screens with the new brand,
What was in the turf originally?
Westmark.
Oh, it was
But it's
Westmark?
just a rebranding, so they have a new
Oh, I
logo out.
Okay, sorry.
And so is that the scoreboard they wanted, that they've been talking about and asking for?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not at the stadium, at the it's
Oh,
at the
you're talking
baseball.
about the basketball.
Baseball.
Oh, baseball.
Baseball.
Sorry, I went right over,
So
I see it now.
the baseball field is Westmark Field. That currently they have the naming rights of that. And so they're just wanting their name on the scoreboard, and they're wanting to purchase a new scoreboard for that.
What will happen with the old scoreboard?
Well, we have two schools fighting for it right now. I think we'll put it out at Century, to tell you the truth. Yes. Yeah. Okay, and then the next one is Highland High School Baseball Community Partners. So we had some contractors want to help build a press box, basically a room that's second story for scorekeeping and to run the scoreboard. And so they want to have a storage room underneath and a room up on top, just a window, so that they could keep track of the score and the scoreboard and the scoring. So we have a contractor, Construction Specialty, that would supply all of the basically foreman over the facility itself. Franklin Building Supplies is going to donate the wood and supplies. They're going to construct it, and then we have Guerrero Brothers pouring the concrete, doing a 20 by 20, and then Ruben Thomas will provide the electrical, so he's our electrician. And they would like to put this right, if you will, on that first baseline, right after the lost the frame of where all the players hang out, dugout, thank you. Because the bleachers are there right now, and it's really hard to see the facilities because they're so close to the dugout, so they want to put the press box right there, and then the bleachers, that way they'll have a little bit more room, be able to see that, because the press box will be a 2-story.
Okay.
Questions, thoughts?
Just exciting.
Yes.
So the first one? Oh, yeah.
I think it's,
Christian called me and told me he wasn't gonna be able to do it because he had practice, so he had me come. I have the drawings.
Oh, that would be awesome.
so I know on the drawings, there's gonna be some adjustments, and that's why we didn't include all of the drawings.
Yeah, and I had my adjustment redrawn.
Oh, perfect. We can include that as an addendum and give that to the board.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
It's a long time to sit.
It's for the boys.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments? Is there a motion to approve the donation agreement with contractors for the Highland Westmark Field press box?
I move that the board approve the donation and sponsorship agreements for the Highland High School press box as presented.
I second.
Any discussion?
I just had a small question. It says on here, no concessions.
No, originally they wanted to design the bottom to be concessions, and we'd have too many permits with water and everything else that would have to go with that. So we want to make sure that it is a storage area. And we have concessions at the press box for the stadium. There's a walkway right to it. We really want to help support Connections with what they've done with the concessions there.
Okay.
I think we ought to appreciate those that are donating all this. I think that's.
Absolutely.
Yeah, nice partnerships.
Yeah, so nice. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Is there a motion to approve the sponsorship agreement with Westmark Credit Union for the Highland scoreboard?
I think we.
They were
I think it's
both, they were both in the motion.
Okay,
Perfect.
okay. Okay, they're both approved. Thank you.
Yeah, the wording did say just
It
press
just,
box.
on mine, it said press box first
Yeah,
and
just
then
so.
scoreboard.
I think it's
Second.
maybe meant to say for the press box, but it's not.
Yeah, it has it separate on mine, but yeah.
Uh,
When I voted, my intent was both.
Okay, yeah, that's great.
I'm going to stand mine so quick. So mine is policy 7202, the teacher supervision and evaluation. If you remember from last week, this is just changing that date from the 15th to the 30th to give more time.
Is there a motion to approve policies? Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, that's great.
Is there any discussion or comment? Okay. Is there a motion to approve policy 7202, teacher supervision and evaluation of certificated and professional staff?
I hereby move that the board hear policy 7202, teacher supervision and evaluation of certificated and professional staff on first reading as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion passed. Business operations presented by Jonathan Balls. We'll start with Highland High School, then Washington School Building Committee update, and then we'll have an action item at the end for the pay manual revisions.
Good evening, board members. Thank you for your time this evening.
Mr. Balls, if I may,
yes,
I
please.
got a little bit eager. The SIP is not on
Oh.
tonight's schedule.
Oh, I was.
Agenda. Yeah, I think we're set up for a work session.
Next month.
Correct. I apologize.
I would, yeah.
Had to get here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect. Yes, we'll cover that at length, what we did and what we're looking forward to do next year for that in October. Again, for a Highland update, again, the main theme is we're on schedule, we're on budget. You're seeing some great, the north and east walls are at the full height. We're starting to do the interior walls now, the hallway and the locker room walls. The new classroom concrete slab is prepped. They anticipate that should be either later in this week or next week. And so.
And what color will that be? I'm just curious how they mentioned tying it in, from the new to the old, and I don't know if that's a transition right there, or I'm just curious what color is it?
Excellent question. I would have to. I'm not sure if it's the exact same as the gymnasium that we're seeing currently, or not, or more of the beiges that would tie
And the
in there.
beiges are in the.
Correct. They're in
Wondered if
the existing one, but more of a kind of an accent. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure right off the top. I don't have that color rendering
Okay.
right in my head there, but I could definitely find that out.
Okay.
And so, do that of classrooms, yep. And so, yeah, that is some good work. Again, we're also starting on forming the footings in the auditorium area. So it is coming along very nicely. Again, I'm sending out biweekly pictures. If you've seen those, again, the website has been updated. Yeah, Courtney and Cami are doing a great job there. And again, as always, if you ever need a tour, just let us know.
I wouldn't mind going and seeing the new science
Okay,
rooms.
okay.
I mean, that would
Pictures
be.
looked good.
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
The external was
I've
fun,
just
and I
seen
can't
the
wait to do
pictures.
that one a second time, but
I mean, we're going to be up there Thursday again. If
what
you-
time?
Yeah, what time?
Would noon, I mean, whatever time.
I mean,
I
I'm
can't
like-
get there until 2:15, but is there, wait, that's this Thursday?
I'm just saying we have our biweekly meeting up there Thursday.
What
And we usually
time?
do the
I
walkthroughs
can't
right
remember.
after, but if
Right
we
af-
need to reschedule.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah,
something
that's-
different, because I know we have schedules that don't.
We have different
always
schedules.
match.
yeah.
You just let me know what time and
Yeah.
we can make Thursday work or at any time, really.
I've
Would
got something
2:30
else at
work?
noon.
Oh, well, actually, I can't do it this Thursday, but would we be able to do it next Thursday at 2:30?
The 25th,
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Are you going to be there?
Yeah.
I assume?
Well,
Are you?
it's a short short jaunt up
Actually,
there.
next week, I don't know, it may be more open.
Sure.
This is just convenience, really.
Yeah, you could, that is 1,000%
Yeah.
correct. We're already going to be up there, but yeah, anytime, we want you to look at it and see how great it is.
And what time are the OAC meetings? I can't remember.
10 o'clock
Okay.
on every other Thursday. But,
Can you go before?
Before 10 o'clock? I have to be somewhere. I work in the
Oh,
temple, and I
okay.
have to be there at 9:30.
Okay.
We can
But I mean,
accommodate you individually or in
What
pairs.
if I
Indiv-
just came at 9:30, just right
That's
before
great.
the meeting? Because I can't do after.
You
but just-
say.
I imagine it won't take as long as.
nope, it'll be, just want to meet at 9:30 at the front of the school.
Yeah.
Okay?
Great, thank you.
And that's on Thursday, day after tomorrow. Okay,
Yeah.
sounds great. And then we could look at next Thursday as well. Yeah, it'd be great. So again, some other things around there. We are still working. We acknowledge and we're working on some temporary lighting on the west side of the school because we're in that transition phase of we've taken the lights off the poles in the front of the school. This is the west of the school in the front. And so, because we're anticipating putting the poles down. The poles are across the street in the parking lot, but no power to them yet. It still could be another 3 to 4 weeks. So for our big events, football games, soccer games, and so forth, it is very, very dark over there. And we're going to try to get some portable lighting, rent some of that for the safety of our patrons and so forth. Because again, you still have to cross that bench road. So some other projects still going on there.
And have there been any students hurt crossing that road? I heard that there were, but I don't know if that's actually true.
I haven't
heard any crossing bench,
Okay. But in the parking lot?
or I haven't heard of any.
Okay.
This caused an ambulance to call.
There was, I do know of,
That one that going across
yeah,
Fairway.
the other way.
Oh.
The one that we've had Fairway in front of the seminary building. And so it's just something that we'll just have to be vigilant, even with, when the construction's all the way done, we just have to be, everybody has to be so careful. And that's same thing around Pocatello High School, right? Those fast streets around there, it's
And-
just the new norm that we just have to be careful.
Right.
More and more people are
Would-
crossing bench.
Yeah,
Forgive
would the
me.
city be willing to put a lighted crosswalk right there at the seminary so that it's a stop and a go? So the kids have to stop and let traffic go, and then, it would just be easier for the traffic flow. And then also, since they weren't willing to give up that little segment of bench road, would they be willing to put that lighted crosswalk there?
So in all honesty, it would definitely probably be on our dime, but we could ask them to be able to do that. And we definitely would plan on that for bench, and sure, we could reciprocate that on Fairway as well. Again, it'd be more of the, you push the button and the crosswalk guard, the lights start flashing. It wouldn't stop them, it wouldn't be a red light or anything like that, but
It would just be stopped, though, and the kids would just have to know they don't walk when it's not on. Is that right? Is there a
correct.
pause, or can they just keep pushing it and then the traffic?
Mm.
Or does it have a pause so that the traffic can flow a little bit for a minute and then?
Again, the one I've seen them is just the little safety, the emergency lights, the flashing lights. Is that the one you're talking about?
I'm just talking about, will you push it and they flash when people want,
Mhm.
when they want to cross? And then I'm just wondering if there's a pause so that they can't, it just won't be continuously flashing so that the cars can get through, because there's
I assume
quite
there'd be a time
backup.
limit there.
Yeah, there's quite a backup to get into.
I would assume you could program that.
Correct.
I would think so too. That's what I wondered, if we could just be able to have a little bit of flow of traffic and then, kind of take turns so that the kids can get into the parking lot.
Sure. We can definitely look at that, and something that we can look at. Okay, and so.
Are you moving on from Highland?
I was, but
Oh.
where
Oh, my-
do you want to go?
I was just wondering
My
if.
question is, we had that committee meeting and the architects were kind of looking at all the different
Yes.
costs, and do we have a,
Thank you for that. Thank you for that question.
Follow up with that?
No, I haven't seen anything yet.
Okay.
I've heard they're getting very close, and so forth.
because Because obviously, I mean, that could play into the SIP meeting.
Absolutely. And so, yes, our first SIP committee should be in October. So I'm hoping within the month, we should at least be able to have some of those, and probably by October, bring that back to the board, and then we can see if we need to have our Highland Rebuild Committee again as well.
Sorry, for those of us that weren't there, what cost are they estimating at this time?
So no, I don't have that yet. So we don't, but that handshake has happened. So
What is it about? Because it's not the backside, it's not the gym and stuff, right? That they're
correct. No. Okay. No, I understand your question now. This is more of the, I'd call it the ancillary elements around Highland. This would be the tennis courts. This would be the west parking lot. Okay, do we do anything with the south parking lot? Do we do, as Madam Chair said, about, do anything with the front and the south side of Highland to kind of tie that into the new section by way of colors, or kind of put a little bit of a refreshed look at Highland. It was, I think I brought that before the board, was that 2 months ago or something like that? Just some different elements that we had identified of potential projects up there. Was there?
And I also think that when we
Is that-
originally
okay.
kind of hired them, that was part of the scope, is to refresh, to make it tie in.
Mhm.
And then that, I think, dropped off when we approved the contract, and so
Correct.
now we're kind of going back to
And-
original.
Yep, as more and more I thought of that, again, it's one of those, as you remember, man, we just didn't know how much this was gonna cost. And so we did cut a few things, and then the cost came back better than we expected, and so now this is where we can kind of tie up some of those loose ends.
Yeah, I remember we had that discussion, and we had a lot of pictures and diagrams
Yes,
and things,
yeah.
and we talked about that at quite a length, and we were going to bring it back later.
Yep.
So, yeah, I
Yes,
remember
so-
we had a very good discussion
Yeah.
about that.
So this is the later that we're working on. Yeah. You
I
bet.
just didn't know where we were.
No, thank you for that, and I'll make sure I keep that on my project update.
Thank you.
know there.
Right.
Okay, just real quick on Washington, as you've heard, we met last night, in fact, had a good meeting. We reviewed the structural report that was presented to the board on July 15th. And then we also talked about the budget estimates that you saw last month. AJ did talk to the committee about enrollments and about transfers. And then they did share with us, even though I'm still looking for the electronic version and then give that to the whole board, but they did have a little staff survey of Washington committees, and they handed that out, and they kind of talked. And it came back about where we thought, a lot of varying comments
And
there
who
about.
made the survey?
It was the Washington Advocates that.
And what was this, what was on the survey? It was like options for use of the building?
No,
Things
it
like
was
that?
just more their thoughts and opinions about their usage of Washington. Just try to capture the last users, let's say, or the last occupants of Washington.
So like their
the stuff.
experience in their rooms,
Mhm.
what problems there were, that
Correct,
kind of a thing.
yeah.
Okay.
A lot of it was parking.
Yeah, there's a lot,
of
parking.
questions.
It wasn't anything big there. So I'm just looking, they said they would email, they had a few changes, and they were just gonna email that. And then and this is for some of you that I know, as Paul Harvey says, now you know the rest of the story, as AJ talked about everything there. And so Jim and Heather were in attendance. Any other comments or anything or for the rest of the board other than that we've already discussed?
So Myers, what's his first name?
Jerry Myers.
Jerry Myers
Yep.
was there. And from his professional experience, he was pleased with the study that had been done, the proposal that had come out from Bateman Hall, kind of some spitballing of numbers of what would be required. The question came up is that if this was the desire to reopen the building, can some of this be done over time period? But I think it was a very realistic discussion, thanks to AJ, just presenting our enrollments. And so that's kind of where that discussion went from, okay, if people are leaving to the charter schools, why are they leaving And if it's a draw because of a different kind of education environment or a different choice, how, and again, came back to this discussion of what is it that we could do to provide more of that would be the draw to come back. And just that those things don't happen in a vacuum, and they have to take time and planning, and why I kind of believe we need to be doing this at the same time, even though we watch the enrollment going down. And it was commented that it's not unique to our school
Correct.
district. I mean,
That's
it's statewide, nationwide that
Yep.
they're seeing this. So, but again, it just draws the attention that if there's something that's drawing them away from the district, we should be looking at what that is and what is it that we can do to be that kind of, if someone's looking for an alternative or innovative learning environment. And maybe we can't. I'm not, again, there are smarter people, lots more smarter people. But I'm very curious to see what it is that we could be looking at. Because if the trend is the way it's going, it's, unless we do something different, it's going to continue.
Yeah.
Anyway, very productive, lots
Yeah.
in attendance. I don't know,
Yeah,
Jim, if
that's
you.
good. Any other comments?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, I think people were very much realistic. They were very appreciative, because I think this is kind of the core research, and to Jonathan's credit, it was a lot deeper than I even expected. So I was very pleased
Yeah.
to see. I mean, there were very hard numbers and lots of pictures, and they all were, I think, satisfied in the numbers. Obviously encouraged that it was less than had been initially spitballed, but it's still a big number.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anyway, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, and the last item for me is, again, for action. This is, as we discussed last week in our work session, the annual revision to the pay manual. Again, some wording cleanup. Really, the main thing was, again, that we would start to allocate vacation on a prorated basis starting July 1st, rather than their annual anniversary mark of their employment. And so that is before you for action.
Is there a motion to approve the proposed pay manual revisions for 2025?
I hereby move that the board adopt the pay manual revisions for 2025, 2026 as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Thank you, Jonathan. Now, Superintendent Howell will present the board calendar and policy 3309 for action.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. We are here tonight, so that takes up the first couple of items. And then we talked a little bit about OAC and scheduling some time with the board members. If you'll get with myself or with Jonathan, we'll make sure you get to see those new science classrooms, as well as go out and get your feet dirty if you want to. Yeah, and so as Mrs. Fisher mentioned, wear your shirts, please, on Friday. Next week, we have a holding spot for student discipline hearings. DDRCs will be held tomorrow, and I anticipate that we may need you, quorum, at least 4 of you, next Wednesday at 3:30.
You won't be there.
So, yes, even though it's a placeholder, I do think we will need you. And then District Curriculum Committee on the 25th, that's Ms. Clark and Ms. Furness and Mr. Knopf as a backup. So if one of the two of you can't make it, if you'll let Ms. Johnson know and she can get
All
her.
right, I'll be available.
Yeah,
Be there,
I was
so-
going to say, I
Oh.
think I've indicated,
For-
because of
for
the timing,
which?
I can't be on that
I will come.
District Curriculum.
at all.
Oh, I think that was the one you withdrew from at the start of
Yes,
the
I
year.
withdrew, because I
So
can't
it's
make
Megan and
that.
Ray.
Oh,
Because we
okay.
had Ray
Actually, I
back
thought
up.
it was Megan and me, but is it you? That's-
I had withdrawn from the
Yeah,
committee. I
that's,
couldn't do
yeah,
it.
why don't we just,
I think originally it was Megan and Heather and Ray as backup, so when she withdrew, we just did Megan and Ray, but I can double check and make sure it was
Okay,
that committee
sounds
that I'm
great.
thinking of, so.
Okay. Then October 1st, ISBA Region 5 meeting. You should have received an email and
Right.
talks a
Yeah.
little bit about the format of that meeting. It appears to have changed. It used to just cover all of the resolutions, but now it's more of a formal training. And so that'll be at PV Tech. We're going to host that meeting here in our region for
And
the others.
So training for what? Right here, it doesn't say.
Maybe Renee or I could find that email and we'll send it out again.
Yeah, I think one came from Misty or Quinn that talked about kind of just like the format for the meeting, because before it used to
okay.
just be a review of the resolutions, but now they've added some more kind of
Training elements.
Yeah, training elements. Yes,
I think there may have been 3 items on there.
Yeah.
3 or 4. Okay, but will you put a note and we'll look for that and put it to the top of their inbox?
Yes.
Please, that'd be great. OAC meeting October 2nd. Student disciplines again, hearings again, placeholder for October 8th. We'll let you know as we get closer. Local issue committee, Port Neff Health Trust. If you're interested, let Ms. Johnson know on Friday the 10th. The 14th, community prevention, and I think Mrs. Furness attended that one today.
Yeah, that's
So if you're interested, or let Ms. Johnson know. I don't know, do we usually ask if they have anything to report from that meeting in the past, haven't we?
I think that we used to, but we haven't had anybody attend it in quite a while, so.
No,
I
I
didn't even think
no,
to
I
ask.
actually attended about 3 of them last
okay.
year. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I did too.
So if there's anything you ever want to
didn't know.
share, we can put that on the agenda. Of course, if it's the same day, it's pretty hard for you to
Yeah.
know. You know,
It was just really impressive to see how many supports there are out there for our youth.
Yeah, I agree.
incredible. Yeah, yeah.
And so the next one is October 14th, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So I would like to go to that.
Yeah. So that takes us just about out a month. My other item for you tonight, and we talked about it last week at our work session, it's up for first reading for deletion, and it's policy 3309, and it is riot and/or civil commotion system, and we talked a little bit about how it is just out of date, out of practice, and so that's why we'd like the board to adopt that first reading for deletion tonight.
Is there a motion to hear policy 3309 riot and/or civil commotion systems on first reading for deletion as presented?
I hereby move that the board hear policy 3309 riot and/or civil commotion system on first reading for deletion as presented.
Is there a second?
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passed. Is there any other discussion or action?
I hereby move that the board adjourn.
Okay,
I second that motion.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed?